Hey everyone, my name is Wedge. You know what? Every single day I think about how Kaladesh spoilers are going and how there's just no way the set surprises me anymore. I mean, we've seen masterpieces, all the planeswalkers, and a ton of other stuff. What could there possibly be left to see? Each time I say that, I am proven wrong in the most exciting yet embarrassing way possible. In this video, we're going to look at some craziness. Oh man, hold on to your seats. Lastly, if you enjoy our spoiler videos, make sure to hit the like button. Helps out a lot. Metalwork Colossus is 11 mana for a 10/10 artifact creature construct. It costs X less to cast, where X is the total converted mana cost of non-creature artifacts you control. You can also sacrifice 2 artifacts to return it from your graveyard to your hand. Sure, this seems fair. Let me set something up for you. Play something like Hedron Crawler early. I know, it's a creature, calm down. Then you play Hedron Archive, which gets you basically more than halfway there by itself, and you get to cast this thing, turn 5? It's unreal. Anyways, an 11 mana 10/10 with a weird form of non-creature artifact affinity is certainly very good. I like the idea of it coming down early if you're playing vehicles, since they're non-creatures most of the time. It's a cool synergy there. No keywords is a bit rough, but if you're playing this for 5 to 7 mana, I think that'll be alright. I like it. Perpetual Timepiece is 2 mana for an artifact. You can tap in and put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. You can also pay 2 and exile the timepiece to shuffle any number of target cards from your graveyard into your library. Well, isn't this just the most hilarious Delirium card ever? Think about it. You can mill yourself to high heaven, get way more delirious than you need to be, then shuffle everything else back into your deck while leaving just enough for Delirium in the graveyard. Gives you more chances to draw your best stuff. Actually really enjoy this card. Definitely plays into the last block's theme really well. Prophetic Prism is getting a reprint. Very cool. Love this card. Wait a second. That does not look like Prophetic Prism. That looks like no. The Mirari. Okay. I know this is probably an art mistake, but no. Not again. Never. Torch Gauntlet is 2 mana for an artifact equipment with an equip cost of 2. Equip creature gets +2/+0. Great, looks like we finally got the equipment we've been waiting for. No! Captured by the Consulate is 4 mana for an enchantment aura. Enchant creature you don't control. Enchanted creature can attack. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if it has a single target, change the target to enchanted creature if able. Well, things are certainly not looking good for Clan Nalaar. With that aside, this is an incredibly interesting card. It forces anything with a single target to redirect to the poor sap you put this on. You could end up forcing your opponent to 2-for-1 themselves to get rid of it, which is particularly nice. Sure, the creature can still block, but imagine putting this on something with 3 or 4 toughness and your opponent having real issues targeting anything else because they just can't kill its huge butt. Sounds fun. Impeccable Timing is 2 mana for an instant. It deals 3 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. Impeccable Timing. It's a cool name for a card. I didn't know they were leaning on Kaladesh. Wait a second, that is... Oh, that's a Johnny. A Johnny's on Kaladesh. This is not a drill, people. A Johnny showing up for the first time in years. Oh man, things are about to get just hairy. Yeah, hairy. It's a Johnny. Can't wait to hear more about this. Wow. Refurbish is 4 mana for a sorcery. Return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Wait, what? How is this thing fair? Oh my goodness. Refurbish is crazy strong. Let's play a game. What kind of fun things can we bring back with Refurbish? How about 4 mana Gearhulks? That seem fair to you? How about the aforementioned Colossus? That seem okay? I always wondered why Torrential Gearhulk only targeted instants. Yeah, this makes a lot more sense now. Refurbish is insane. Want to fuel it? Key to the City is a great way. Just saying, Reanimator is back, baby. Ether Squall Ancient is 5 of anything and 2 blue for a 6/6 Leviathan with flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, you get 3 energy counters. You can pay 8 energy and return all other creatures to their owner's hands, activate only as a sorcery. Okay, first things first. We've been exploring Kaladesh, and up to this point, we haven't explored giant flying Leviathans. How in the world did that happen? Just saying, it's a bit weird. Anyways, card's hilarious, gonna be crazy for limited. Unlike a lot of Leviathans, this doesn't come with an upkeep cost of any kind. You actually get a nice energy producer and an insanely powerful ability. Certainly broken in limited play. If you need a consistent energy producer, this thing pumps out energy counters like a Pez dispenser. I miss Pez, those were cool. Disappearing Act is 1 of anything and 2 white for an instant. As an additional cost to cast it, return a permanent you control to its owner's hand, counter target spell. Really, Wizards? Really? This is what you're giving us? Really? We can't just have a decent 3 mana counter spell? We just have to return a permanent. No, I'm done. Do you know why Deprive doesn't see play? Do you? I'm done. Let's move on. It's unbelievable. Experimental Aviators, 3 of anything and 2 blue for a 0/3 human artificer with flying. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 Thopter tokens with flying. This card is incredibly expensive, but that enter the battlefield trigger is worth breaking. Pair this with Eldrazi Displacer and just thop away to victory. I think that 2 power across 3 creatures for 5 mana isn't that great, but if you can blink this, it earns its uncommon stripes as far as I'm concerned. Longfinned Sky Whale is 2 of anything and 2 blue for a 4/3 whale with flying, and it can only block creatures with flying. Seriously? Flying whales? This is the world we're in right now? How is anyone worried about what's happening on the ground when there's an ocean in the sky? Just a thought. Right. This card's fine for limited. 4 mana for a 4/3 flyer is actually quite good. The clause doesn't make it much worse, see Vaporkin. It's an interesting card. It'll play just fine, but seriously, flying whales? What is this plane? Weaponcraft Enthusiast is 3 mana for a 0/1 Aetherborn Artificer with Fabricate 2. This is a neat card. 3 mana for a 0/1 and 2 1/1s, or 3 mana for a 2/3. Seems pretty boring if you don't fabricate creatures. Of course, if you find a way to blink this a bunch of times, it makes for a decent servo producer. But if you don't blink it and you don't have any way to take advantage of the massive creatures you have, it will be underwhelming for you. That artwork is so sick though. It's very impressive. Brazen Scourge is 1 of anything and 2 red for a 3/3 gremlin with haste. This may not seem like much, but this card is certainly good enough for standard right now in mono red decks, I think. It doesn't have trample or anything, but with the quality of red walkers in the block, these early turns need consistent, powerful threats, and attacking with a 3/3 on turn 3 is very good and will usually require an answer. Also, if we're being honest, a 3/3 beats a 2/3, so there's a lot that falls to this card in standard right now. I approve. Gremlins, so cute. Such scamps. Cathartic Reunion is 2 mana for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast it, discard 2 cards, draw 3 cards. The chasm of years and worlds collapsed under the power of their embrace. Oh, it's mother and daughter. I think I'm gonna cry. This is so beautiful. Creative Spark is 1 red mana for a sorcery. Choose target creature. Exile the top card of your library. You may have the spark deal damage to that creature equal to the converted mana cost of the exiled card. If you don't, you may play that card until end of turn. The absolute most important thing about this card, the end of it. You may play that card until end of turn. This lets you play a land. If you have a land in your hand, but you don't want to risk exiling a land with this and losing value, you don't have to worry about it. Just wait to play a land, play this, and if a land is revealed, you have until the end of the turn to play it. Genius concept, really great wording there. Beyond that, not a huge fan. I guess it kind of is pseudo-draw / red's normal exile effect, but it's really weird. Can't tell if it's good or not. Let me know what you think. Potential might be there. Reckless Fireweaver is 2 mana for a 1/3 human artificer. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. It is just a common, and I understand that, but do you really want to print a card like this a common? It seems really good, especially with all the ways we've seen to create servos and thopters. This doesn't seem like the power of a common. Can't be just me, right? The Fireweaver is dangerous, mark my words. Each opponent, commander, be wary of this thing. Ugh. Oviya Pashiri Sage Lifecrafter is 1 green mana for a 1/2 legendary creature human artificer. You can pay 3 mana and tap her to create a 1/1 servo token. You can also pay 5 mana and tap her to create an XX construct artifact creature token, where X is the number of creatures you control. If nothing else, this card represents everything I love about Wizards' handling of the color green on Kaladesh. Think about it. We're talking about a mainly artifact-based plane where clearly white, blue, and red were easy to figure out. Green being the color of creation, regardless of whether or not that creation is natural or artificial, is amazing. Love it. Kudos to them. Now let's talk about the card itself. Oviya is straight up Risk the Redeemed level awesome, except she goes big instead of going wide. But what makes her truly unique? She's an artifact commander in green. That is not a thing. Besides something like Reiki or Captain Sisei, she's going to have to make her own path. That's totally fine with me. We can finally combine artifacts with Second Harvest and watch the world slowly become the Matrix. This is definitely something I can get behind. Of course, if you're having trouble finding a place for her that isn't in the previous decks I mentioned, I guess she can slot into Tristani just fine, maybe Selvala, I guess Shattergang Brothers, but that goes against the spirit of her as an artificer, but who cares, just junt them out anyways, am I right? Restoration Gearsmith is 2 of anything, 1 white and 1 black for a 3/3 human artificer. When it enters the battlefield, return target artifact or creature card from your graveyard to your hand. This is going to fall under a lot of players' radars, but it's great for limited. 4 mana for a 3/3 isn't anything too exciting, but grabbing a creature in addition is some sweet upside. Nice to see some Orzhov love in this set. It's good stuff. What do you think of all the cards we looked at today? Anything pique your interest? I really like our new artifact Risk the Redeemed and our giant Colossus, among other cards. Let me know how you're feeling about what was revealed today in the comments below. God know what you're thinking. As always, be sure to subscribe for the latest and most reliable Kaladesh spoiler information you could ever need. This is the Manosaurus. I'm Wedge. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. This video is brought to you in part by TCGplayer.com. Kaladesh booster boxes are sitting at $94 right now, and the set is looking fine. So if you still need to pre-order and you don't have an LGS, or your LGS is just way too expensive, you can order right here. Click this link, it's so pretty, and you get to open packs. There's no losing there. Enjoy.